Hey guys, Lou with LG Speed and Custom here, and in this video we are building lake pipes for my 32 Ford sedan. No, we're not building lake pipes for it. I mean, yes, we are building lake pipes for it, and this week's video was supposed to be the video on building lake pipes, but today is the day that video is supposed to come out, and I am not done, not even close to being done. So rather than leave you guys hanging with no video, I thought I would just do a little, like a shop tour or shop update, progress update that will explain why these aren't done as well as what's been going on. So the shop is really busy, and as a result I'm having a really hard time getting hours in on this car because I'm so busy doing everything else. I used to dedicate Fridays and Saturdays to working on my projects and filming YouTube videos for you guys. However, I don't think I've spent a Friday on my own car in several months, which means I only have Saturdays, and some Saturdays are busy. On average, I've been getting about 4, maybe 5 hours. No, not even, probably 3 to 4 hours a week on this car, which takes a long time to make a video. One like 45-minute video, for example, has been taking me like 3 Saturdays to make. So that's why the video's not done on this car, is I just haven't had enough time to film and do enough work to make a full video. So let's do a shop tour. Let's talk about what's going on in the shop. Okay, my Model A Roadster. Let's start here. Let's start at the car at the front of the shop. So the last couple videos that we've done on this we were racing. So not really doing work on it, just racing it at the Estranged Drags and at the Langley Loafers Old Time Drags at Mission, BC, which is the closest drag strip to us. The last video that we actually worked on it, we were doing the intake. We did this Thixton PM7 intake swap and plugs, head gaskets, just a bunch of maintenance stuff. I've got that Mallory MagSpark ignition that I want to swap back in. This is a Chevrolet 283 distributor that has been modified to fit in the flathead. So I want to put the Mallory MagSpark back in. I used to have it in this car many years ago. And I've also got a full set of plug wires from Noble Speed that I want to put on. Because race season is over, I haven't done anything on this car other than occasionally drive it, and even then I haven't driven it that much. I used to drive this car a lot. However, as life changes, I just don't find myself driving it that often anymore. Mainly because it used to just be just me and my old dog Fred. Fred's passed away. Then it was Shannon and I, and then it was Shannon and Doris and I, and now with Lux there's 4 of us, and there's not room for 4 people, which is why we're building the 32 sedan. That's a more family-friendly car. So that's kind of why I don't drive this car that often anymore. It's just because I'd rather, when I go to car events, I'd rather just ride in Shannon's Meteor and hang out with the whole family than drive this thing by myself while they take their car, or Shannon takes her car by herself. So anyways, things that I want to do on this car that will probably get done someday, but not for a while, is I do have a full hood for this car that I want to put on because I really like the look of a Model A with a full hood, like a Roadster. It just really gives it that competition look. Will it happen soon? Probably not. Will it happen eventually? Eventually. This poor car, I find most of the times the only time I work on it is when we're prepping for race season. So I think the next Old Time Drags, the Langley Loafers Old Time Drags, is usually the first weekend of August. So the last weekend of July, we'll probably thrash on this car to get it, up to snuff for that. Anyways, there's the story of where we're at on the Model A Roadster. Up next, the big project in the shop that you guys have probably seen in the background of many videos. This is Gordy Allberg's 57 Dodge Sweepside. Gordy Allberg, for those that don't remember, he owns the 32 Roadster that we put the Blown Arden in, as well as a couple of months back, a lot of you guys saw in the background, there was a 1965 Rolla Volstead Indy car that I was doing a bunch of interior work on. That is also Gordys. So the Indy car left and the Dodge came. We are doing a full, as you can see, frame off factory restoration on this truck. It's a pretty cool truck. It's the swept side one, so it's got the station wagon quarter panels and stuff on it. That's what it looks like when it's all together. I haven't been filming this because restoration work I've done a lot of restoration work, but it's not really my I don't like doing restorations. The only reason we're doing this restoration is because it's for Gordy, and Gordy is just a super awesome customer, and I like working with him. And if he wants to restore his truck, I'll restore his truck for him. But for the most part, I'm not really into restorations. I like doing hot rods, so that's the kind of content that I want to shoot for the channel, is more hot rod related stuff, not so much restoration stuff. On that note, I'm still super appreciative of doing this job. This is just a super awesome, rock solid truck. He bought it in Riverside, California, and it spent its whole life in that area. So when we got it sandblasted, there was very minimal rust repair to do. I think you can see in the back of the cab here, I had to put one little patch in back there where I think there was like a rag laying behind the seat or something, and it had a little bit of rust in there. This stuff is all ready to go to the body shop and get painted. The chassis I just painted a few days ago, and we're starting the assembly process on the chassis. Metal work, I still have to finish off. There's a little bit of damage in the bottom of the box floor, and this door, I got to do a lower door skin on it. It was really weird. The bottom of the door wasn't rusted out. It was rusted out like here and here. So I'm just shaping just a new lower skin for it. So anyways, that's the 57 Dodge project. As for hot rod projects, Tom from Swift Current, Saskatchewan just dropped off his latest build. We've got over here 2 sets of 32 Ford frame rails. These are American stamping rails. One of them is for Tom, one of them is for me for just a future upcoming build. Don't have any plans for it yet, so if you're gonna ask, ooh, what's the surprise? I don't know yet. Tom was at Roadster Supply, and I said, hey, while you're down there, you wanna grab me a set of frame rails just so I don't have to pay the extra shipping to get them here. But yeah, Tom's building a 32 3-window. I don't know if we can film this project for YouTube yet, because he wants to do some kind of cool stuff with it, and I don't know if it can go on social media. He's going to check the rules and let me know. Anyways, the gist of it, 32 frame, 354 Hemi, Winter's quick change rear end. That's all I'm going to say for now. Probably going to be starting that once this and the 47 are done. And when I say done, I mean like the metal work done, and then this can go to the body shop and get painted. The 47, don't mind the weather. It is terrible outside today. It's a gloomy Saturday. The 47, the last video, we were waiting on a couple parts for that car. Those parts are here now. We've got not the quick change. I got quick change on my mind. We've got the drive shaft back from the drive shaft shop. What else we were waiting on? We've got all the stuff for the trailer hitch. We're gonna louver the hood on it. Put new motor mounts in the front, just because why not? While we're in there, we might as well. And the last thing we're gonna do on that car, I think, because I keep saying that's the last thing, and then RL's like, oh, hey, I got another idea, which is totally cool, by the way, I don't mind. He's got a vintage Sun tack with a little transmitter box, so we're gonna be putting that in the car as well. We're just waiting on space right now. Like I said, I gotta finish that door skin and the box on the Dodge, and then it goes to the body shop, and then we got space to work on stuff again. So speaking of shop space, that's always something that I'm trying to maximize and make most efficient, is the shop space here in the shop. We're always changing little things to make it a little better. Last year we got a new door on this side. We've put a bunch of better lighting and stuff in, painted the ceiling on this side, and did some painting and stuff on there. The ceiling on this side, underneath the upholstery mezzanine, was covered in poly plastic, and it looked absolutely terrible. I hated it. So I've started pulling it all down, I haven't finished yet. I got to this point and the 32 is in the way and it's on jack stands. So when it's down, then we can keep going, removing it on this side. But yeah, I really like the open rafter look. I think that looks a lot nicer than that. So that's one of the projects we got going on. This overhead door is not insulated and it's pretty crappy. So I'd like to replace it with one like that. I'm just saving my pennies for that. That door was $6,000. So stuff is really expensive right now. So this door, I'm assuming, will probably be another $6,000. So when I have $6,000 laying around, we'll change the door. A lot of people give me a hard time for not having a hoist. I've got a hoist. It's sitting right there. It is a rotary 7,000 pound 2-post hoist. Just haven't got time to deal with it yet to get it set up. I think the spot I'm gonna put it is where the 32 is. And there's a couple reasons for that. There's, I always thought I would want the hoist at the back door here, but there's two issues with that. The shop's not very wide. It's only 25 feet wide. Issue one, the furnace would have to get moved because the roof of the car is going to hit the furnace. Issue two, if we put the hoist here, the hoist is I think just over 12 feet wide, which is going to put the post like right here, meaning I can't work on a car here anymore. There just won't be enough space. It kind of turns this whole spot into like a useless spot. Option two was, maybe we could put the hoist over where the Roadster is, but that really screws up the whole layout of the shop. Like the whole shop is set up right now so that all the real work happens on this end over here. This end of the shop is mostly just like, I don't know, a little like spot to show off my old crap and park my Roadster. Could move everything over there, but it makes it really, I don't want to rebuild the entire shop. So the alternative, or what we came up with, was let's put the hoist where the 32 is. That way we can still lift a car up. We can get to it from both sides. We can drive a car in this way on it. We can drive a car in this way on it. We can get a car behind it. We can get a car in front of it. And because the shop already has this post right here, if we have another post like right here, it's not going to change much. This is already kind of like a weird, awkward spot in the shop because we can't fit a car here. So this is kind of just like, I don't know, we mostly work in this spot because of that. It's like the workspace. And if there's a post right here from a hoist, I don't think it's going to affect all that much. What we will have to do is move the brake. I've got an 8-foot brake here. That's not gonna work because the other post for the hoist is gonna be up against that wall. But I've done some measuring, and if I take this bench and that toolbox, which are like the mechanical stuff that we'd mostly be doing on the hoist, and put them starting here, toolbox and bench, and then at the end of the bench, the hoist post will fit really nice there. So I think that'll work out pretty good. And then we'll just put the brake, and probably some of the other metal shaping equipment can kind of get moved to that side. So I guess we kind of are rearranging the shop, but not as drastic as moving everything from one side to the other side. Time frame on this stuff, it's a pretty low priority. Like I said, we're really busy in the shop doing customer stuff. So, and that's to set the hoist up and reorganize the shop. Probably gonna have, 3, 4, maybe even 5 days, like a whole work week of downtime to make that happen. So at this point, it's pretty low on the priority list. Let's go upstairs and see what's happening up there. Into the upholstery loft. What do we got going on here besides none of the lights are on? Right here, we've got this nice little minivan seat. This came out of, I forget what van this came out of, but my friend Zach Wilson of Wilson Builds, great YouTube channel. For those that are following his channel, he's building a really cool little 29 Roadster right now. This is the seat that he got for it. Yes, this seat looks absolutely terrible, which is why it's here. We're gonna recover this seat in black. We're gonna split it. This will be solid. This is gonna have 3-inch pleats. And I can't remember if we're doing piping or not. I'll have to check with Zach, but yeah, it's here to get reupholstered so that it doesn't look like a minivan seat anymore. It looks more like a hot rod seat. What else do we got going up here? This is remains of, I just did a big seat repair for my friend Brian the car guy, who you guys saw polishing Shannon's Meteor. Jim was powder coating a bunch of suspension parts for Gordys 57 Dodge. We've got a little powder coating station right here. I'd love to like expand on this and make it bigger, but again, we just don't have the space. This isn't a huge shop. Downstairs, like I've only got 1,200 square feet, so trying to utilize space as efficiently as possible. The shop next door is currently for sale, and a lot of people have said, why don't you grab that? And the downside of the shop next door is it is 600 square feet, so it's only half the shop space that this is. Although it does have a 600 square foot like showroom office area. But the major downside is to get that extra 600 square feet of shop space. It's currently for sale for $940,000, which is way more than I can afford. And a mortgage payment on a $940,000 shop that's only 600 square feet, there's no way I can generate enough work out of that space to pay for a mortgage. So it doesn't make sense to expand. Just gotta, deal with what we got. That's one of the downsides of living in Canada. Canada real estate is extremely expensive, especially on the West Coast. We do have a mezzanine up here, which I don't think I've ever really explored before. It's mostly just used for parts storage. We can go up top here. I've got a wheel and tire collection. I really like collecting vintage wheels, so that's on display up here where nobody ever sees it. Just more tires. When I see tires for a good deal at a swap meet, I grab them. Down here, we've just got, more part storage. Let's get a light going up here. Up here, I've just got sets of early Ford brakes, steering boxes, springs, wishbones, more steering columns. These are not necessarily tires that I'm using, but they're just the rims that I want to use. Cross members, more springs, stuff like that. Just to give you where we are in the shop here. There is Tom's 32 project we were just looking at. This is this floor is 22 feet from the shop floor. So unfortunately not high enough for my forklift to get up here, which is probably a good thing because I would have so many engines up here. And then when an earthquake comes, it all goes down. So probably for the best. What else do we have up here? Just lots of it's where I keep all my foam and stuff for doing upholstery work, and just random spare parts. Just more wheels and tires, mostly tires. Heading back down into the shop, here is like 20 years worth of just car show plaques and awards and stuff. Been doing this a long time. This was the first one, 1996, so it's 18 years ago. No, 28 years ago. 28 years ago? Yeah, 28 years ago. So when I got my first place award. Let's put a coat on and head outside, and I'll show you some of the projects and stuff we have outside. These are my friend Robin's 32 wishbones that he brought over. He wants me to split them. That'd be a pretty cool video. Maybe we can do a little video on that. Oh, we're locked in. Outside, okay, first we've got Shannon's 49 Meteor. We just did a video on this car where we polished the whole outside. Had a bit of a paint disaster with the fender skirts, but it's not that noticeable. I can live with it for the time being. Future plans with this car. We're gonna start doing some upholstery work. Again, how soon, I don't know. But this car not only has original paint, but has original upholstery as well. And unfortunately, the back seat just split open. Well, it didn't just split open. That happened quite a while ago. The back seat split open. So I think we're gonna redo the back seat, or start redoing the whole car. Just it's getting pretty tired in there. I don't know if I can get this door open with the forklift here, but this corner of the seat also is split open. The original upholstery just didn't have enough life left in it for having a dog and a kid riding back there every day. But that's kind of what happens when you daily drive old cars. Or new cars, any cars, they get wear and tear on them. No big deal, we'll just fix it. So that's the plan with this car. Again, don't know when that's gonna happen, but it'll happen one day. Brown Sugar, our work truck, powered by a 12-valve Cummins, lowered 7 inches. Did a lot of YouTube videos on this truck a few years back when we were putting the Cummins in. What's in the cards for it coming up next? Not a lot. I'm really itching to get some paint on this thing. I've got, like, the front doors are rusted right out, both sides. And I've got really, really nice rust-free doors that are at my friend Rick's place, the guy who's gonna be painting Gordys 57 Dodge. And they've been there for 6 years. Rick wants to do them, but you know, it's one of those friend deals where he'll get to them when he's got time, and it's been 6 years, so I don't know what I'd like to just go get them and start doing the body work and paint myself on it, but at the same time, I've got so much other stuff going on. I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon. We do have to do some maintenance on this truck, so we'll probably do a video on that. It needs new front tires. It's got a radius rod bushing that's wore out. I want to build a new shifter for it, because remember the last video we did on this truck, where we worked on it, we put a new column shift in and it broke like 2 days later. I'm pretty sure the issue is why I broke 3 steering columns in this truck is that Dodge 47 RH transmission, the detents in it from, like, you know, when it goes from park, reverse, neutral drive and goes click, 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 click. The detents are just, they're too heavy for the Ford steering column. And the Ford steering column is just like pot metal and it just keeps breaking. So I put a floor shift in it. I made one just from scratch. It works so good. Should have done that right from day one. But I want to make a cool, like, shift lever for it, chrome one. I got a nice cool, like, metal flake shifter ball to go on. So we'll do that. That's probably going to happen sooner than later because this truck really needs tires. So we'll probably just spend a whole weekend on it. As for the trailer build, I actually got 2 trailers. I got the flat deck, which is pretty low maintenance, and then this trailer we started doing a build on last summer, and it's kind of, nothing's happened to it since we got back from racing because racing season's over, so we don't really need the trailer anymore. It's gone back into like a storage container. It's got, inside is my 32 frame table. I got a rotisserie in there, a couple engines, a bunch of transmissions, just parts. So probably nothing going to be happening to the trailer until race season starts up again next summer. Anyways, that's pretty much going to conclude our little shop tour video. I think I'm going to have to start, like, I've been doing videos every Saturday for a couple years. I've been releasing a new video every Saturday, but I think I might have to start doing it every second Saturday now, just because right now I'm so busy with stuff, I just don't have the time to make a video for every Saturday. So just giving you guys a heads up. If next week you don't see a video, I might have a lake pipe video done by then, but I doubt it because there's still quite a lot to do. So if I don't have a video up next week, that's why. There'll probably be one the week after. We'll just drop to a 2-week thing. It might be temporary. It might be back to once a week in the future, but just giving you guys a heads up on what's going on. I think I'm going to end this video here and then jump back onto the lake pipe exhaust project so that, you know, eventually that video does get done and you guys can see it. But in the meantime, there we are. It's Saturday. I'm gonna, like, take a couple minutes, edit this all together, make a video and upload it so that in a couple hours you guys can watch it. Take care. We'll see you later.